A new dawn is here. An important automotive cell is splitting, creating two versions of itself, one ever so slightly different from the other. The BMW M3 has divided itself in two, one with 4 doors, one with 2. The 4-door car remains the M3, a car that many have lusted over for generations. The 2-door car, it's got a new name, the M4.
The M4 is, as you'd expect, the fast version of the 4 Series Coupé, which is the 2-door version of the 3 Series Saloon, which also has a fast version, the M3. Now, you see, due to BMW's naming structure, the odd-number cars are the estates and the saloons, the sensible ones, whereas the even-number cars are the coupés and the convertible, the stylish, lifestyle-y type cars. The M3 and M4 are pretty similar. They've got the same engine, pretty much the same dimensions, the same 0 to 62 time, and the same 155 mph top speed. There are a couple of minor differences though. The M3 obviously has a couple more doors and it's ever so slightly heavier. But today we're here to look at the newest member of the M family, the M4.
This is the first of what will be many M4s, no doubt, but it has heritage. This is technically the 5th BMW M car of its type, the last being the 4-litre V8 E92 M3. That car was the last M3 to have a naturally aspirated engine, and what an engine it was. The new M cars come with 3-litre turbocharged jobbies, 2 turbos here, no bad thing, given how effective they can be at not only upping MPG figures, but also upping torque.
The engine that sits underneath this thing's delicious power bulge holds 425 brake horsepower and 405 pound-foot. That means with a dual clutch transmission it'll get from 0 to 62 in 4.1 seconds, 4.3 with a manual. Now, to put that into perspective, the new M4 is faster than the old V8 M3 around the Nürburgring by 15 seconds. And BMW says that while it's 1, maybe 2 seconds slower than the old hardcore M3 GTS, with the right tyres and the right driver on the right day, they're pretty confident they can beat that too. Now, that is partly down to the new engine, but also down to weight saving. It weighs 80 kilos less than the old V8 car. So they saved 1.8 kilos on a new crankshaft, 2.2 on a new crankcase, 1 kilo using a magnesium oil pan. Its turbo system is only marginally heavier than the one you get in the standard 435i, and there's 2 turbos in there. There's also liberal use of carbon fibre and aluminium up front. I could go on talking about this forever, but all you need to know is that BMW has worked very, very hard to make the M4 and M3 as light as possible.
But the M4 isn't simply a Bogo 4 Series with more go and bits lopped off. The M division had a number of things to contend with while making the M4. It needs to be faster than the old car, obviously, but have more power, emit less than 200 grams per kilometre, use less fuel and still feel like an M car. It might surprise you to hear that the only panels shared with the standard car are actually the doors. That's it. The entire car has been given an enormous working over to make it better than before in every way. It'll go very, very quickly and even manage 32.1 mpg. Because technology.
It's also got the M differential, designed to give the most driving pleasure possible, and it's also got the M dynamic mode, which loosens the traction control just a little bit so you can really feel the car, really get it moving, but you still have the safety net of traction control. That's something that M drivers all over the world have asked BMW to keep in this model, and thankfully they have.
So there's all the techie bits that makes it so special, that makes this M car better than the 4 that preceded it. Pop this against an E30 M3 and this will get you from A to B far faster and in more comfort, because that's how the advancement of technology works. But the E30 had something, an engaging, enthralling nature that hooks you in. Does the M4?
The party piece is the engine, and it is simply stunning. There are 3 modes to have it in. Efficiency, which, well, guess what that does. Sport, which revs it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more angry. And Sport Plus, which, well, it kind of sends it into full fat turbo mega nutter mode, which is simply wonderful. I've also got the optional carbon ceramic brakes in here. They're really good. They take a while to get used to though, because, well, they're a little bit sharp, so when you first get into it, you do feel as though you're putting on too much pressure and jarring everyone in the car a little bit too far forward, a little bit too hard. But once you get used to it, by God, they're good. Right, let's give you a little demonstration of how the noise sounds in here. Let's stick it down into second. Sounds pretty meaty, right? A little flat, but pretty meaty. Here we go. But it never quite hits that on-song moment. And it's not quite loud enough in here. You want it to really appeal to every single sense. You want this to be a very sensory vehicle, but in this case it is just the noise that lets it down. It sounds good, great even, but it doesn't sound so good that you're going to want to blip the throttle and have a little bit of a play with it. It doesn't impress you so much, and that I think is the only downside about it. I often talk about the everything car, the car that does everything, and this is one of those. You can have everything set to nice comfy mode, and then once you've dropped the kids off or done what you need to do, well, you can press buttons and make it mad and have a lot of fun. Have a nice angry, screamy, fast car that'll let you play with it, that'll move around a bit, that'll really engage you, just like the M3s of old. It's been asked of BMW why for so long they haven't made a supercar, and the answer they gave was pretty simple. With the M cars, they already make them, so why would they need to make a proper supercar?
So the new M has a heritage and the go to match it, but I've a question. Will the M4 ever have the same pedigree ring to it as the M3? Will there now be generations of ears that prick up when they hear its name?
Now let's not be stupid here, of course it is. The M3 M4 combo are BMW's halos. They're hyper-engineered, mega-quick versions of cars you see pretty much every single day. And BMW knows they're going to sell far more M4s than they will M3s because their customers prefer fast coupes over fast saloons. It's just the way it is. And the M4 itself, it looks great, it makes you feel awesome, and it is incredibly good to drive. Yeah, its name might be a bit silly because the bigger numbered car has 2 fewer doors than the smaller numbered car, but in the end, who cares? 4 is the new 3, and you're going to want one either way.